All right, 12th of May. Let's take a look gold. So let's take a look at the daily. Gold coming down, tuning down, that's fine. This was a new zone we marked in before. We got a breakdown, beautiful. Yesterday was a swing day, as you know. Sorry, Wednesday was a swing day, apologize. Wednesday was a swing day, makes the high, comes back for a retest at the Astro hours yesterday, as you can see, and then flops down, breaks down. Any move up is good to sell. Okay, so now we should come down. We need to fill in all these gaps. Sooner or later, we should wave down. All right. This is like a channel, so it should at least do this. Measure that up. Okay. So we should at least come into this zone. All right. So just mark that in. And that should be how it is. All right. So it should break down. This should come here, bounce up a little bit, and that's fine. So you can, because we're intraday trading, you can play around with the bounces, but you can see the target is quite down there. The good buy kiss was 53. If you're using your ATAM, you would have sold off at 2019, which is pretty much there. If it goes up there, 2019, that's your sell zone there. Okay, which is also your place where the daily pivot is. And there's a bit of gap here. Well, not a lot of gap. If it comes back up, you can sell it off, in other words. All right. Now, this zone we marked in way before, but on the daily, we got room to come down to 1960, which is logical. That's all the way down there. 1960. Okay, so I'm not saying it's going to do that today, but obviously 59 there, 1972. 1972 is on the cards as well. Okay, so we've got room to push down. Okay, all the way into this zone there. 1972 zone. So it's 1960, 72. Any pull up into Astro, I think you can sell off, not a problem. One more place you need to keep an eye out for is this. Can I say that? Yeah, it's the weekly pivot, obviously, this zone. All right. So, yeah. And that's pretty much it. If it does slightly higher, you'll need to wait till next week to sell it off. Okay, but this is your Astro zone. You can see the market's picking up right now. So we're bound to have a bit of a retracement. Okay. Euro dollar. So we made the target yesterday, nice and easy, as you can see. The market should push up today a little bit. Okay. We should maybe get in there. Okay, that's a bit of a big, for us, a big bite, as you can see. So what I'll do is I'm going to just do that. If the market does come up, you can, if it creeps up, you can sell from the highs. If you want to buy, let's take a look. We've still got room to go down the weekly. The daily is okay, so you can see we've got that 38.93 with 1.0894, 1.0894. So this zone looks like it could pick up nicely, okay, and it should probably go above the daily. All right, we should probably break above the daily, and you need to be careful towards the closing. Actually, you know, there are two places to be careful today. One is from 12 noon until 1:15, okay, and the other one is as we get closer to the closing, you know, after, like, I guess 7, we should have, like, the market pushing towards a target for the closing, okay, and that's basically how it is. So from these levels, I think you can also go up into Astro hours. Just be careful, we might get into a sideways notion here. There's an impulse wave down, so the market can go sideways. The market did break yesterday. I said don't stand in front of it. What's the point? Wait for it to come up and then sell it off. Today here on the daily, we might find ourselves at 47.50, which is 1.0954 and 78. 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 78 is like right here, which works out fine, and 54 is there. All right, so this zone here, if you like, you could do this. Okay, marking this level here, and that's also fine. I'll get rid of this. Okay, if it goes anywhere above that anyway, it's going to go to the weekly pivot, and that'll be that. Okay, but Euro US 30, that's a nice fall, as you can see. Now the first resistance is going to be this zone here. Let's take a look on the daily first. Okay, so that's a new setup, as you can see. So that one there, after this one, this bar closed, we've got a new setup here. So that red is going to be 51, 33,601, 33,601 is going to be there. Okay, so that zone is on the cards. I can also pull this all the way up here. Now for this one, you remember, okay, the swing day I mentioned on the Dow Jones was Wednesday, okay, and that's your Wednesday there, okay, nice and easy. Market goes up to the weekly, sells off, okay, so selling off again is okay at the daily there, and obviously this is going to be the zone here, which we're currently in. Okay, so this is also a sell zone in there. Okay, nice and easy. Then this could be like a pullback, okay, push back down. And then let me see. What's the possibility here? Yeah, this zone again could be the way to go, or the weekly, okay, to sell down. You might want to do that in the New York session. That's also doable. Around the 445 zone there. Be careful for 545 as well. After 645 to 545, I'm expecting some, whipsaws or sudden movements in the market, so that's fine. The beautiful thing is you can just wait for those hours to be over and trade afterwards. So, yeah. Let's take a look at the SP 500 and NASDAQ and also Bitcoin. All right, so let's take a look at SP 500. Now, SP 500 yesterday, these were the Astro hours, nicely falling right into our target there, right into our lap indeed, and simmering back up there. So let's see where that's going to go to. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the daily. Now, on the daily, once again, we've got this like tricky situation here. Okay, that's indecision from yesterday. Yesterday, despite the fact that it was a tricky bar, you can see it was like nice and easy to trade, selling the top, buying the low, as you can see. Now, with the SP 500 as well, we had Tuesday and Friday for a swing day. And so Friday may be the one. Okay, so Tuesday, not much really happened. It was a sideways market, as you can see. And Friday, let's see what's awaiting us on Friday. So if we might go back up. Now remember, I said there's a bit of a gap here. This zone is important. Nevertheless, the market can fill this out. If it does, we will be selling nicely. All right. So what I said yesterday about the market may continue to go up is still on the cards. So if you bought the low as well, you've done well because it came right into the target. You should have gotten out either there or there. All right. Not much to talk about. At these levels, so the market's still got room to go up, so I'd be cautious. What can you do today? Well, this is a sandwich zone. We're right in the middle there, and on the weekly we can still head up into that 4,178. Okay, so that's there, and that's basically it. What can you do? If it pulls back into Astro hours, I think you can go long. Okay, from the daily, from the weekly, you could do that. If it breaks above this, then the pullback into this zone here, see where the brown line is, or the low of Asia is, that's where you can get in as well. Okay, it hasn't broken out yet, so I can't really mark it in because you need to make sure your technical analysis is right on that one. But what you can do is if it does come back into the low of Asia at an astro hour, you can want to go long. From this zone, the market may want to sell, and it's doable. Okay, this is a sell zone, including this, I'd say. Okay, and we're coming up to astro hours as well, so it'll be like, well, we've got 11 o'clock, right? So yeah, 11:45, 11:15, that's going to be your first stop, and then you got 1:15, 1:15 here. Okay, and then the rest coming in. So with this one, it's a bit of a sandwich zone. If it pulls back into an astro hour, you can go long from the highs, you can sell as well. Just keep in mind this has got a really potential to go up and fill in that gap before selling off. Same thing is going to be for this one. Remember I said we'd fill in that place, and look how that's coming up nicely. All right, so Nasdaq really fulfilling its prophecy and heading up into that direction, to that zone. And this is also okay. Wow, it's a nice pull up. So what we're going to have to do is just sit tight on this one. I wouldn't do anything on this one today at all. Leave it for next week. Okay, yesterday this was a zone we had yesterday here. This was not an astro hour though. Okay, it was a bit off the astro hour, so not really a lot to do here yesterday, and that's basically it. Okay, not much to talk about here. I'd leave this one alone, and let's see how the market sizzles up. Next week is a better option for this one. There's a reason I don't trade on Fridays, and it's like, you know, Bitcoin, not really much to talk about. I said this was going to break. I said, you know, sell from the highs. We're coming down, so not really much to talk about, guys. Okay, this is just going to simmer down into this, and that's fine. Okay, it did the targets I spoke about. It's got low, you know, those were there. Okay, so yesterday it did those, the day before it did those, so that we can get rid of. But this is like simmering down. Any move up, you can want to sell off again. At the daily pivot, you might want to sell there. You can also want to sell on the opening as well, where the market just, you can see, push down and you know, start going down. So no surprises here. I've been telling you to sell here, sell here, sell here, you know, like sell the tops, you know. So another talk about head and shoulders here. Break down, pull up, you can sell again all the way at least into that zone there.